Hi, my name is Willina Adams. My grandson is third grade and he attends Panther Lake Elementary School. He has been subjected to at least 15 school district policy violations by staff and administrators, and his civil rights have been violated. He is a black child with disabilities that the school staff and administrators were fully aware of and had agreed to related services to accommodate his needs. These are some of the things he has suffered and we have endured. A teacher snatched his food out of his hand. A teacher threw my grandson's sensory fidget in the trash. The same teacher told him he would tear up his paper and in his face and throw it in the trash. My grandson was switched from that class to another on behalf of my daughter. The principal had my grandson observed in the classroom by a behavioral specialist from the district without my daughter's knowledge or consent. In a meeting on September 20th, the principal lied to us about having the specialist observe my grandson. The teacher refused to answer my grandson when he asked 3 different times, "Why am I back in the back when everybody else is buddied together?" After the third time she ignored him, he asked it for a break. The teacher told him to go in the hallway. He took a break in the hallway. When he knocked on the door to re-enter the class, she refused to open the door and was shaking her finger at him, continuing to teach. Two of the classmates came to the door to be let in. She let them in and shut the door on him and never let him in the door. When he came up to the door, she again refused to open it. She never unlocked the door for my grandson. She excluded him from participating in class. She secluded him to a space in the back of the classroom to sit facing the wall away from class instruction. She illegally refused him re-entry back into the classroom. They denied him of his free, appropriate public education. The teacher used retaliation tactics against my grandson because we had advocated for him in a meeting the day before. The principal and vice principal refused to allow the teacher to meet with us regarding these unsafe issues and behaviors. The principal and vice principal were rude, unprofessional, and condescending. The vice principal stated that it's the law. Washington State can lock this children out. My daughter stated to her that it is illegal to deny a student re-entry into the classroom. Teacher gave away his school supplies to a different class. The school has what called Panther Peace Den, the common area, which is this picture. This is supposed to be for all students. My grandson was not allowed to use the peace den. As the principal put it, the teacher made a special space just for my grandson, and she did a great job, which is this picture, a 16-inch by 16-inch classroom jail cell, which has caused him emotional harm. This particular uncivil and inhumane act was perpetrated by the teacher and condoned by the principal and vice principal. This systematic white supremacy behavior is in full effect at Panther Lake Elementary. This is just another version of school to prison pipeline behavior. Due to the inequity and educational system and discriminatory policies toward children of color, but not on my watch and not with my grandson. Since no one called to check on us to see how he was doing from the district, I thought I'd come here to share this with the world. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker, Mr. Christie.
Good evening, Board President Davis, members of the board, Superintendent Pfeiffer. I want you to know I'm not like a thin-skinned person. I get told from sources a lot of friction, a lot of contention. I am one opinionated person, and I get my feedback. But if you don't mind a moment to defend myself, basically what my position is, it's very simple. I've reported our children to be influenced in an astronomical number of ways, very detrimental. I've presented before how most of the children now who believe they are a transgender or they need to practice a gay lifestyle, 90% of the time it's totally delusional. Strictly a matter of being influenced. I've come that from many directions as an expert in mathematics, and even lately I come to yet another. The latest thing from a Wharton study is that nearly half of all school-age people, young people, believe that they need to live a homosexual lifestyle or a trans lifestyle or something like that. We're talking half. It is not in the realm of physical possibility for half of the population to need to live in a homosexual lifestyle or a trans lifestyle. That's the mathematics I'm talking about, stuff that has to be strictly delusional 90 to 95% of the time. But there are other indices I haven't had a chance to talk about. There's an enormous rise in antisocial behavior among our young people. They won't go to a meeting like this and follow rules of order. They'll yell, they'll stomp, they'll break things. Antisocial behavior is spiking high among the young people. Self-destructive behavior, alcoholism, drugs, suicide, gangbanging. Look at metrics of all kinds, and this is a generation that is being murdered through a number of ways. And my position is simply this. We know for sure three things. It has to be coming from a somewhere. It has to be happening through a somehow. And there has to be a some person or persons with some contributory influence in this. And that's why I have the three questions in front of you. Hopefully you have that in front of you. I don't have the time to read them to you. But if you don't have a solid answer to each and every one of those three questions, I'm not the person you should have any friction or any tension with. We have got to get to the bottom of where this comes from. Who, how, what's happening to these children. That's been my position from the beginning. And that's all my position has ever been. It's a reasonable position. I express it in a reasonable and in a respectful way. And not only should I not stand down on what I'm doing or dial it back, as some have suggested, if you don't have the answers to these three questions, you shouldn't even be wanting me to, because you should support my position and agree with me in what I'm doing. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, Mr. Tancredi.
Good evening, Board President Davis, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Pfeiffer. I hear from parents all the time. I go into neighborhoods, I talk to businesses. Parents, grandparents tell me all the time. Teachers will ask their students, how do you want us to call you? What are your pronouns? This is not relevant. This has nothing to do with teaching kids and preparing them for the next level of their life. Why are teachers doing this? What is the purpose? It'd be one thing if an English teacher was talking about nouns, verbs, pronouns, past participle, adverb. That'd be different. But to ask students, how do you want us to call you? What the hell is going on in these public schools? I'll tell you, I'll give you the answer. It's in this book. It's called Race to the Bottom. Uncovering the Secret Forces Destroying American Public Education. The chapter is called Brainwashed. The section is called BLM-NEA, Black Lives Matter / National Education Association. This is the author. Teachers' unions have a direct line to school districts across the nation and use it to influence curricula. The NEA, this is the author speaking, the NEA is a hardcore leftist organization whose website once recommended Saul Alinsky's, quote, theories and materials, including his book, Rules for Radicals, specifically noting his admonitions that a radical will, quote, fight conservatives. A radical will fight conservatives, and that if you have a vast organization, parade it before the enemy, openly show your power. And this is supposed to be in education. We're supposed to be educating kids and preparing them for life, but this is an indoctrination method. You're indoctrinating these kids. It's in here, and he has not been sued. This author has not been sued yet. Why doesn't the NEA sue him? And why does the school systems, why does this country, why do they use African Americans as tools, as pawns to gain a political advantage? Why? African Americans as a group are failing in our public schools, and you appear to be doing nothing about it. But yet you talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, but you don't back it up. You don't back it up. And I've been talking about this for 2 years. I said it at Federal Way High School last year. The public school system in this country has failed Black America miserably. Miserably. Give them the school voucher, let them go to the choice of school where their parents want them to go.